Welcome everyone to IPO Market Watch. I am your host Mike, and I want to thank you very much for tuning into this very important video. A video that has to do, we're going to cover in this video Venezuela, Guyana, the 15 billion plus of oil that has been discovered, how this involves the United States, how this involves Russia, how this involves OPEC. It's not as simple as some people think that, oh, well, you know, Venezuela is trying to steal from Guyana and so on. The International Court decision of 1845, we'll look at that. The ongoing International Court process that is ongoing, and there's no decision on this matter yet. The CEO of ExxonMobil and what he said, which is actually very important to listen to what he says, and how the United States is pretty much putting in a corner and bringing a lot of pressure to OPEC, and how Russia and OPEC could actually, if Venezuela gets its way, we're just going to imagine if they do, which I doubt they will, but if they do, how this is a strategically bad thing for the United States.
Tonight, tensions rising between two neighboring South American countries as Venezuela threatens to annex more than half of the country of Guyana.
This is a direct threat to Guyana's territorial integrity, sovereignty, and political independence.
As a century-old dispute is reignited over an oil-rich territory known as the Essequibo region, a stretch of land that in the 1840s, an international tribunal of arbitration decided it belonged to Guyana.
But why now? Why are things intensifying right now, and why Venezuela is ready to go to war, and why the United States actually conducted drills in Guyana yesterday and today? They're conducting drills with the Guyana army, which is not really a big army because Guyana has a total population of just 1 million.
In 2015, following the discovery of oil reserves off the Essequibo's coast, Venezuela's interest in the territory intensified.
Why would this matter for the United States? To get to the point of sending troops there to do drills with the Guyana's army? Why would it be so important for the United States? Does it have to do with money, with ExxonMobil and the huge oil reserves they discovered 8 years ago? Maybe, but I doubt that's the whole full case of it. That's one big reason why. But I think the other reason is because Venezuela, which someone in my Discord, by the way, said, well, Venezuela has a very hard time exploiting their own oils and taking advantage of their own oils and making money off of them and so on because of sanctions and this and that. What would they do with Guyana's oil if they were to take over those new findings, which is a very good question. Well, guess what? This is what the United States knows. I'll tell you right now. I'm going to show you a video of what's actually behind the scenes, and that's why the United States is very involved in this.
What Maduro is trying to do is open up Guyanese territory for international exploitation by providing licenses from Venezuela. This is a new development, and seeking international partners.
Venezuela is trying to do something new. They're trying to say, you know what, let me take over all half of Guyana, basically, and all the oil reserves. Since I have a very hard time of even doing anything with it, I'm going to bring in international players. Who's Venezuela going to bring in? For sure, Russia and China, right? So let's just focus on those two, Russia and China. You two come in here, and all three of us together, let's take advantage of this. Would the United States be comfortable with Russia coming down there, basically kind of close to their backyard, let's say, and taking advantage of the oil? Is the oil and the money and the profits going to be the biggest concern for the United States? I think not. I think that the biggest concern would be that Russia gets even closer with military. I don't think Russia would go and if they were to have it all their way, would just arrive there with just a bunch of business people and let's take oil, let's sell, and so on. I think there would be a lot more to it. John Kilda from Again Capital Founding Partners, I think puts it in a very short but pretty good explanation of the huge games that are being played with oil.
The problem for them is that, in my opinion, they're at their maximum cutting position. You know, they're producing only 9 million barrels a day. Again, contrast that with the U.S. production of 13 million, exports down to 7. Contrast that with U.S. oil exports of pushing on 5, not quite there, but pushing on 5. So you see the problem the Saudis themselves have.
All right, now let's see what ExxonMobil CEO has to say, because he said something about the fact that there's a new court process, international court process going on to rule over who is the owner of that part of the region that is being contested. I think that for sure Guyana is going to win this international court decision, since they won it already in 1845. But Venezuela is not waiting for a court decision. They want to do their own thing. And ExxonMobil CEO basically says, you know what, we've been contracted to do something. We're going to go and do that, because we're just going to honor our contract and so on. Kind of, though, isn't that strange, though, to be honest? And I'm not saying that I'm on Venezuela's side, but if you know the place is disputed and it's right now an ongoing international court process going on to decide to whom it belongs, how can you go in there and start drilling? I mean, and this is from both sides. I think, you know, technically both sides should be out of it until the court decides, right?
There's concern that Venezuela is going to try to basically, around this border dispute, invade a certain part of the country, take over a certain part of the country. What are your thoughts about this, and how much risk does it present to ExxonMobil, given the importance that Guyanese production has for your company?
Well, I'd put it in the context of what's been happening now for many, many years. Frankly, before we even started our first production out in Guyana, which is, there's been a border dispute. Venezuela's had the dispute. That is going through the International Court of Justice. There's an arbitration process that's happening. And so it is a matter between nation states and the international community. It's been ongoing. My expectation is that process will be respected. That's certainly what I see.
Guyana has 1 million people. I mean, they can't defend themselves if the Venezuelans decide they want to do something.
I'm not sure Guyana is standing on its own.
So what's the point of all this? Well, the point of all this, that is, I think the world has enough of any new wars. We have already Ukraine. We have Yemen destroyed. We have Syria being destroyed. And when I say destroyed, it's not even funny. It's not funny at all. Nobody should be happy that those countries or any country is destroyed, because we as adults, you know what? Who cares about us? Me and you, we're big. We're adults. If anything happens during wartime, oh well, whatever. But in any of these countries, or any country that is being pretty much destroyed, kids are the ones that pay the ultimate price, in my opinion. So yeah, although that's a whole different video that I can do and talk about, but I don't think, we had enough. I personally had enough of these wars popping out of nowhere all the time. We have the Israel-Hamas war, Ukraine war, now Venezuela war, Syria is destroyed, Yemen's destroyed. I mean, what the heck? Now, if we look at it in the stock market, then I think within the next few months we can see the energy sector going crazy. Maybe, I don't know. But in my opinion, oil prices are probably going to go up, and the Saudis will have their way by accident. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I wish you guys all the best. Take care.